On Thursday, May 14, 2015, the South Florida Water Management District Governing Board passed a resolution to irrevocably terminate the U.S. sugar land option.
Mr. Chair, I move to irrevocably terminate the 46,800 acre initial non-exclusive option defined in the 2010 amended and restated sale and purchase agreement between the United States Sugar Corporation and its affiliates in the South Florida Water Management District, and to direct the Executive Director to send written notice to United States Sugar Corporation advising it that the district has terminated the option.
The board ignored science, economics, testimony in a federal court by a former 20-year water management deputy director, 99.9% of environmental groups, pleas from citizens, and continued to misquote and misrepresent the University of Florida Institute study. One board member was particularly demeaning and belittled the citizens who took the time and effort to learn the facts and speak in front of this governor-appointed board.
When you're talking about, and let's go back to the UF report, which, by the way, it is my Bible. It's well marked up. I went through 4 highlighters. I'm very proud of the fact that I read 192 pages of it, not just page 5 of the summary page that many people emailed me to look at. And I would encourage everyone that's interested in this issue to read 192 pages of it, because it's an education. On page 130, it says, to reduce damage to the St. Lucie and Caloosahatchee estuaries, freshwater inflow and nutrient loads from both Lake Okeechobee and the local basins must be reduced. On average, 70 to 80% of the freshwater discharge and 65 to 80% of the nutrient load to the St. Lucie and Caloosahatchee estuaries originates in the local basins. Now, what can you do? We can continue to follow our BMAPs. We can strengthen our BMAPs. We can look at what we can do in our own backyards. I just actually noticed a story on WPTV today about that they're actually tracing what's toxic in the St. Lucie River and in the Indian River Lagoon, and it has to do with human waste. And we really need to start a discussion about septic tanks and how we're going to remediate that in the local basin. You know, I think that if we're concerned about our estuaries, the science is saying that if we shut off the lake releases today, we would still have that kind of percentage of local basin runoff from septic tanks, from wastewater. So we've got to look locally to those solutions. So if you're concerned about the estuaries, I would encourage you to get involved in your local issues, local basin runoff, and start to mitigate those issues.
We all
Great. That's great.
Excuse me.
Most of what is being referred to as local basin runoff is actually agricultural runoff that drains into the C-44. As you can see by this map, the C-44 canal is surrounded by agricultural land. We in Martin County have been converting septic tanks to sewer and have a strict no fertilizer ban during the rainy season. This is a map of Port Mayaca where Lake Okeechobee dumps into the C-44 canal. This is where toxic blue-green algae was found, April 22nd. As you can see by this map, there are no septic tanks in this area.
The number 1 recommendation is finish the projects. The number 2 recommendation is look for additional storage and treatment north of the lake. Let's go get that done. Let's all link arms and go get that done.
As you can see on page 131 of the University of Florida study, it reads, based on review and analysis, the technical review team identified the following options to reduce damaging discharge to the St. Lucie and Caloosahatchee estuaries and move more water south from Lake Okeechobee. What Mr. Hutchcraft keeps referring to as recommendations and in a priority number are actually called options. And according to the lead author, they were listed in no particular order.
We started. When you go back to the back of the UF study, the number 1 conclusion that they came up with was to accelerate funding and completion of existing approved projects. And that's what we've done. That's what this legislature has done. That's what our governor has done. And that's what this board has done.
On page 130, it reads, the technical review team concludes that relief to the estuaries and the ability to move water south of Lake Okeechobee can be accomplished using existing technology. And then goes on to say, the solution is enormous increases in storage and treatment of water both north and south of the lake. Existing and currently authorized storage and treatment projects are insufficient to achieve these goals. Without storage south, we cannot achieve the stopping of the discharges. Many concerned citizens spoke to the fact that without this sugar land purchase, the board's plans have no land for additional storage south of the lake. So the citizens asked, what is your plan B? If not this land, what land? And the answer is...
Okay, so I would encourage everyone to really educate yourself. I don't want anyone to think that what we're presenting are all negatives. Our plan B is really our plan A.
There is no plan B.
You know, you're not going to hear these things on your TV, in your mailbox, from any kind of propaganda. You've got to really learn for yourself what these issues really mean. You know, it's, again, I would encourage everyone to read the UF study, the entire UF study.
Where do you live? Where do you
Excuse
live?
me, ma'am.
You've been exposed to propaganda. I'll quote Ms. Peterson again. That's not totally scientifically true. You remember when this campaign started to have us buy the land, move the water south. It was all about clean drinking water. Well, then it became pretty apparent that it's not all about drinking water. Most of the water we get in South Florida for drinking water comes from wells in the aquifer. And so you switch strategy. The propagandists switched the strategy to make it about cleaning up the estuaries. And it's really not about that either. I would just...
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.